Hello everyone, I'm Christian from RPG World, and today we make a quick videos with few which I consider most important tips that coming in on my mind for Path of Exile 2. Keep in mind I'm not a hardcore player, not the best player in PoE, but I play a few hundred hours of PoE 1 and from the beginning spend some time in PoE 2 as well, and I can say few tips that I encounter myself, few things that I consider myself are important for a new player in PoE. I'm sure a lot of you which have much more experience than me consider this basic, but for some players I'm 100% sure will be very important these few tips that I will tell you. Okay, so let's get started directly. I don't want to be a long video. First question, I encounter this question even in my chat on streams and Discord, etc. What to do with your 300 points when you buy the early access? Basically this is not a tip, it's a recommendation. What to do with your 300 points? You go in the shop, go on the stash tab, buy stash tab bundle. Keep in mind, Path of Exile, it's a looting game, is the heaven for loot addicted players with a ton of loot, and you really need this stash tab. You need. Of course, the game will be free to play. A lot of players playing without spending any penny in the game. It's okay, you can do that, but you need the stash tab. Basically, by default, you have these 4 stash tabs. Okay, you have only 4 stash tabs, and trust me, you can manage with this, but it's not enough. If you want to play the game for a long time, if you want to play the game and to perform in the game, you need more than that. And what I recommend the premium stash tab, because you can trade as well from that stash tabs, and don't focus to the specific stash tab because it's more expensive. Of course, if you have more points or you want to invest more, you can buy, for example, a stash tab just for currency. It's very nice, very easy to manage the currency in the game, to have every currency in a stash tab. But you can make any stash tab. You can rename here, right click, put a name, a color, what want to be in that stash tab, and you can add, for example, only currency in this stash tab. It's up to you, but you have a specific tab for currency, you have a specific tab for unique, very nice sorting of uniques here. Look, mace, bow, staff, quiver, every unique you drop here and will appear on this stash tab. For essences, for gems, for delirium, everything, you can buy a specific tab for everything in the game, but the default stash tab is much more cheaper and very useful for you. Okay, another tip, salvage and sockets, quality. Every time when you exploring maps, keep in mind, loot items with quality. Even if it's a white item, let me see if I can find something here. Even if it's a white item like this one and have a socket, loot it. Or also, even if it's a white item and have a quality, let's find another one. Even if don't have a socket but have a quality like this one, okay, it's white, But you see this quality 9%. Looted. Loot this item. Of course, blue, yellow, but even white, which is the worst. Okay? Loot this item, go to the salvage bench, and salvage this item. You will get this shards, this currency. With these shards, yeah, you can add sockets to another items, your gear that you equip, or artificial, or you can add quality on your armor. You see, you know, you can improve other items with these shards. It's very, very important. Even more than that, go to the vendors. Yeah, and check the vendors. Not this one, because this is
How can I help?
check the vendors, and if you see items with quality or sockets like this bow, it's just 365 gold. Buy this bow, okay? Buy everything with sockets. Go to the salvage bench. Boom, two more shards to add on your stash. Very, very important, and will be very useful on a long run. Okay. By the way, if you didn't discover the salvage bench, don't worry, you will discover the salvage bench here in Act 1. In this map, you need to go here, yeah, at this Renly's workshop, and then until that you don't have the salvage bench. But stock on your storage your socketed and quality items, and when you arrive here, you can salvage everything. Another important tips: don't miss bosses in the map that have this plus, because this give you a permanent buffs. For example, this boss give you plus 10 cold resistance. I don't know exactly what every boss give you, but it's very, very important to. This one give you 2 passive skills. This one I don't know. In every act, you have different bosses. Don't miss that bosses. And basically, this is another tip. Keep in mind, it's one very, very easy to miss. Here, plus 10% lightning resistance. It's a area, a maze, and it's one statue. You need to interact with that statue, defeat 2 mini bosses, 2 sisters, and you'll get plus 10 permanent lightning resistance. It's one in Act 2 and another one in Act 2 Cruel. Yeah, so basically you'll get 20% lightning resistance from this statue. Keep in mind, in passive skill 3 now, it's not like in PoE 1, you don't have nodes to increase your resistances. You need to manage to get everything that you can from the map to increase your resistance and from gear. So don't miss this. This is another important tip. It's very easy to miss this one, trust me. Okay, another one what I put here on the list, don't use exalted orb, and don't spend your currency to upgrade gear early in your playthrough. In Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, it's not worth it, because you will get a lot of loot, you will change the loot very, very quickly. It's not worth to spend your resources to upgrade a gear that in the next map you will replace anyway. Don't do that. Keep your resources for later in the game, when you'll stay for a longer time with a specific item. It's not worth to spend your very hard grinding resources on gear that you'll throw away in the next map, in the next half an hour. Keep your resources for later. You cannot do that all the time. Even myself, I sometimes I upgrade the gear when I consider something is good, and I say, wow, maybe I'm lucky. I will get that item much more better, and I will spend one regal orb or one exalted orb, but it's not worth it. Trust me. Keep your resources for later in the game. Basically, will be perfect after you finish completely Act 6, Act 3 Cruel, and you'll stick with a specific item for a longer time. Okay. Another thing about the flask. A lot of you, I'm sure about that. Myself, I'm one of that. During a boss fight, you remain without healing. You don't have enough healing in the flask. Now in PoE 2 you have only one flask. You cannot have more than that. And when the flask is empty, you don't have healing or mana, of course. Some flasks, like this one, for example, you see, this flask, even if it's empty, you don't need to kill mobs to get charges in the flask. You see that 0.2 charge per second. You are in a boss with in a fight with a boss. You don't have more mana. Yeah, just run around, avoid the attacks of the boss, and during the time the flask will regenerate that 0.2 per second. You will get more mana in the flask. It's the same thing with the healing one. So it's very, very, very useful in boss fights when you don't have mobs to kill to regenerate your flask. This flask will regenerate themselves. You will get more mana or healing, depends which flask you prefer, over time. It's very important and very useful. Save your life. Okay, another thing that I want to show you. I don't know why don't working on the, it's a bug or what. Yeah, I wanted to show you with control click you can reset your map, your zone. Here you see when you want to navigate, you come back in town and you like one map, you have more mobs and you farm a specific loot, control click the waypoint and you can reset the instance, basically respawn all the mobs, all the loot, everything, and you can farm again that specific zone. It's useful when you want to farm a zone for a specific gear or for experience. Important, up to you. But I'm sure new players don't know that because the game don't explain you anyway how to use that. Like most of the tips, guys, I'm sure maybe old players will say, what the fuck are you saying here? Everyone know that, but not everyone. If a new player don't know these kind of things, it's not a very simple game. It's not a Counter-Strike. Just reload your weapon and shoot, puck. Yeah. So not everyone know these small tricks, small tips that I want to share with you guys. Okay. About some people don't know, in the skill tree, in your skill panel, you will get stuck with 2 sockets, yeah, from the beginning. And maybe new players progress in the game and they will say, oh, how the hell I will unlock new sockets for my skill? I want to add more support gems on my skills. How to do that? Don't worry, later in the game you will find this thing, Jeweler Wolf. I think this will appear later in Act 3 or something, I don't remember, or maybe in Cruel, when you will find a lesser Jeweler Orb. Open your skill panel. Keep in mind, this one is the lesser one. This one you can add only on the skills that already have just 2. For example, this one, you need to find another one, a better one. I cannot add here on this one that I already had 3. It's another gem. With this one, right click, and you can add on a gem that have only 2. That's right. So basically, you can make that better. We'll add this on, I don't know.
Good things come to those
Boom.
who die.
And here I have another socket, and I can add another support gem. Very useful, very handy, very important. But the drop rate is very low for that Javelor gems. Keep in mind. Yeah, so that's what that come in my mind. Very quick and early tips for a new player. Oh, another thing, the guild. It's important. It's not that important like in normal MMORPG. This is not an MMORPG, but the guild is important, especially for the guild stash. Of course, a guild, to have a guild stash, the leader of the guild need to spend money, currency, in the shop to buy stashes for the guild. It's very important if the guild have stashes, very useful because you have some extra storage. So the member of the guild can add items in the guild stash, and even if you are not online, it's a shared storage between the member of the guild. If I find something I consider is good and I don't need, I will drop in the guild stash, and maybe another player, another member of the guild will take that, will be useful for him, will help him in a run. Okay, he will take a flask, a skill gem, a weapon, an armor, or a flap, anything. You can add on the guild stash, and someone else from your guild can take it and use it. It's useful. It's not that important, like I said in other MMORPG online game, but it's useful. That was, I think, the most important and quick that coming on my mind tips, guys, for Path of Exile 2. We'll come with a preview later when I will do some more maps, more end-game content for Path of Exile 2. Anyway, it's a great game, very addictive, amazing, very good, trust me. Thank you very much for watching. Hope was useful for some of you, and we'll get something in this video that will be useful for you. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you enjoy the content. We have the full playthrough. I will come with a video with my build. I'm playing Infernal Witch. Now I will come with a video with details about my build, which is very strong. I think it will be nerf for sure. I have the full playthrough on YouTube with the full progress of the build. Anyone can check. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.